Hi, my name is Anne. I'm a registered nurse and I'm here to share my weight loss story. The whole purpose behind the video, I'm not a YouTuber. I don't know how to make videos. I'm not a trainer. I'm not a coach. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not aspiring to be any of these things. I work full-time as a nurse and I love my job a lot. But people have been very inquisitive about my story and have been asking a lot of questions. So I thought I could make a YouTube video briefly explaining my history and answering how I lost over 100 pounds. But I am by no means selling you a formula, like if you follow these steps, A, B, C, D, E, you're gonna have the same success as me. So I'm 5'9". My lowest adult weight was 150 pounds. That was my early college days too. I was pretty skinny. I didn't go about it in a very healthy way. And I want to share this story because whenever I post pictures of myself at that weight, people tell me, oh, you look great, you look beautiful like that. And really, they kind of miss the point that I was not healthy and that I was starving myself and working out excessively and obsessive about the number on the scale and my weight and being skinny and being thin. It's when I did everything all wrong, but I thought I was doing it right because I was getting complimented all the time about my appearance, and I thought this is, I thought this is great. This is how you get skinny. Like you don't eat anything and you work out constantly, and that's how you get fit. So that was not healthy. I did end up gaining weight back very easily as soon as I stopped eating like a bird and I stopped exercising excessively. I gained weight. The weight gain put me in a depression. There were some other personal things going on. So I was in nursing school. I know I weighed 281 pounds. 281 pounds is my highest recorded adult weight. But I know that I gained weight after that. I believe that when I graduated nursing school, I was nearly 300 pounds. But like I said, I stepped on the scale at 281 and I never stepped on the scale again. I just didn't even want to know what my weight was after that. That's kind of like the history with my weight. In 2013, I watched a documentary and it was called Hungry for Change. And it kind of flipped a switch in my head and made me start to think differently about food. I stopped thinking about food in terms of just for enjoyment, and I started to think about food in terms of what nutritional value it can offer me. I mean, just because something is healthy doesn't mean it's not enjoyable. I love food still. I'm still a big foodie and I love to eat. And at that time, I stopped eating fast food, which I believe I ate fast food about 3 times a week. And I stopped drinking soda, and at that time I drank soda every single day. I started to try to eat healthy, but I wasn't consistent about it. I kept falling back off the horse. I kept overindulging in sweets and ice creams and everything like that. I was not consistent about exercising. At that time, I wasn't really consistent about it, but I did lose weight. In April 2014, I started to be more proactive about my weight problem. And I decided to start by doing Focus T25, which is a Shaun T program where you work out 25 minutes a day. And I took the photos, I did my measurements, and I did my weight. And at that time, I weighed 255 pounds. I saw the pictures of myself, and they were just awful. I was in so much denial before that about how bad my weight problem had gotten. I mean, I didn't own a scale. I had to buy a scale when I started the T25 thing because I didn't even own one. I didn't own a full-length mirror. I would never be in group photographs. I mean, was completely in denial about my weight problem, especially because I decided that I was still healthy. Because when I would go to the doctor, they couldn't necessarily diagnose me with any diseases. I hadn't, nothing had manifested yet. So I was like, well, I'm not diabetic, my blood pressure is not high, and I don't have high cholesterol, even though my cholesterol was kind of borderline. At one point, I was still morbidly obese, and I justified it so many times, like, I'm still healthy, I'm active. I mean, my idea of active was going kayaking and bringing like a case of beer. Way too young to feel this exhausted. And that's what I did for the very first year. I did all Beachbody programs. I did T25, the original Insanity, P90X3, and Insanity Max 30. And that took me about a year to complete all those programs. I also started mountain bike riding. I would ride my mountain bike 14 miles a week, and I would go hiking 2 to 3 times a week with my dog. So I was very, very active. I went from being a complete couch potato to very active, working out 5 to 6 days a week. For that first year, I maintained a mostly paleo-inspired diet. I never went 100% paleo, but I just used that as a guide to for my meals. I did meal preps for work, and I would bring my own food. So after 1 year of doing, high intensity interval training, which is what the Shanti programs are, HIIT workouts, hiking and mountain biking, I got down to 165 pounds. That was a 90-pound weight loss in 1 year. And at that time, I also knew that I didn't have very good concepts of moderation. So I didn't trust myself to cheat maybe once a week. If I missed a workout, I made up for it the next day and did 2 workouts. I never restricted my calories. I never counted calories. I just focused more on my ingredients, trying to eat whole natural foods, and then just using intuition, I guess, to determine how much I should eat. It was really hard to eat breakfast at like 5 a.m. So I would just have like a smoothie before work, and I'd have 40 to 50 grams of protein in it. And then I would be satiated until about 10 o'clock, and then I'd have a snack. Then I'd have my lunch, which was something I had meal prepped or something I had made from scratch. And then I had, a couple more snacks throughout my shift. And then when I got home from work, I would do my 25 minutes of exercise, and I'd have a healthy dinner, and then I'd, go to bed, and I slept a lot better, Before that, I really did have sleeping problems. I had trouble falling asleep and staying asleep. And I never used Shakeology. I just used stuff that I found on Amazon, different protein powders. Felt better. I looked better. I was really happy with my progress. The only problem I had was I had a grade 3 ptosis. So I decided to have that surgically repaired. I had decided to have a breast lift at that point and a tummy tuck as well because I had loose skin. I get people writing me every day like, I want to lose weight, but I don't want loose skin. Oh my God, like it's like this terrible, terrifying thing for people. And the reality is you can't control whether or not you're going to have loose skin. Genetically and depending on how long you were obese and how much weight you lose and everything like that is going to determine your loose skin issue. Some people are lucky and they don't have loose skin. Some people aren't as lucky like me and they do have loose skin. Even with the loose skin, I still looked better. I still felt better, and it was still worth it. And if I didn't have the money to have it surgically repaired, I still would have done it. It upsets a lot of people that I had plastic surgery. I'm not sure why. They feel like it's cheating. They feel like the 100 pounds that I lost before doesn't count. I opted for surgery because I couldn't find a bra that my boobs wouldn't pop out of. Like I would be in my living room doing burpees and my breasts would literally pop out of my bra. If you get let's say you got a triangle top bikini, your breasts would fall out both sides and like the top and the bottom. Like there's nothing you can, like you need a push-up bra, bikini top, which they don't really make those. They're like amoebas, they're like flapping in the wind. I mean, they don't make bras for this kind of situation. I had to take 3 weeks off of work, and I couldn't do strenuous exercise for like 8 weeks. So after 2 weeks, I was hiking 6 miles a day, and I went right back into an active lifestyle as fast as I could and as safely as I could with my doctor's recommendation. I was hiking 6 miles a day, and then after that, I started bike riding again, and then after that, I started doing my workout videos again. I was starting to get a little bit frustrated because I was having issues building muscle in certain areas that I wanted to build muscle in, so I decided that I had to join the gym. I had a full-on anxiety attack when I went to the gym. I couldn't even go by myself. I had to take my sister-in-law with me, and the guy signed me up was just like, calm down, it's gonna be okay. and something really cool happened. I ran into this girl that I knew from Instagram. Her name's Kelly Cutler, and we had been following each other on Instagram, and we ran into each other and we hit it off and we became friends and everything. But she told me, the first thing that she told me when I met her was to download this app called Body Space. I don't know if you could see this, but if you can see, I've tracked 148 workouts on there, and I've lifted, it says 3 million pounds. This was really cool. She's like, just do the Jamie Eason program. It has a video on how to perform the exercise, has all the basic equipment in there, all the basic workouts are in here. And so that's how I started out at the gym. It was a really cool thing because I really didn't know what to do. It's designed by bodybuilding.com, so there's tons of workouts in here. Ashley Horner has one, Jamie Eason, there's booty programs, there's all kinds of stuff in here. But the really cool thing about it is there's tons of programs in here, very customizable, and it's completely 100% free. That was cool. So that's what I've been doing since last September. I've mostly been just doing weightlifting. I do still ride my bike. I have a road bike now, so I ride about 30 miles. I really do love working out outdoors still. I love going hiking, especially if it's like a really steep trail and you get to the top and there's a nice view, or you're hiking to a waterfall, what have you. I love hiking. I love riding my bike because it's just good for it's good for me to get outside and exercise. I prefer it over the gym. At the gym, I just do weightlifting. I mostly do free weights and cables, and I do select machines. I don't do a lot of machines anymore. And I do the Stairmaster for my cardio. I don't do treadmill or elliptical. I am working on gaining muscle. I've gained 15 pounds of mostly muscle in the last year. I'm continuing to try to shape my body and with weightlifting. And I've introduced some non-paleo foods back into my diet. One of the most common questions I get is, where do I start? What do I do? What do I start? I know a lot of people that are attracted to my page, and a lot of people that are asking me for advice are new, and they are beginners, and they are justified in their confusion because there's so much information out there, and there's so much conflicting information out there, and there's so much confusion, especially when it comes to marketing and the diet industry and the supplement industry. You can lose weight, but you got to buy this. What are your excuses? What are your bad habits? What are your problem areas? And attack them head on. Whatever workout routine you decide to do, it will be effective as long as you stick to it. And healthy eating is different for everybody. Some people, they like to count calories, or they count macronutrients, or some people like to eat clean. It's whatever works for your lifestyle, whatever works for you. As long as you stick to it, it will work. And it's not really a question, but more of an assumption that people have. People see the amount of weight that I've lost, and they just assume that I've had weight loss surgery. And I realize that this is a life-saving procedure for a lot of people, but it was something that I never considered because of I was actually traumatized. My very first semester of nursing school, I did a clinical rotation on a bariatric floor, and we cared for primarily patients who were having complications from bariatric surgery, having adhesions, having to have multiple surgeries, bowel obstructions, were needing to be fed parental nutrition through an IV port, all kinds of things. And I just saw, and they had dumping syndrome, and they were pretty sick. Some of them were very thin and underweight, malnourished. Personally, I never wanted to have weight loss surgery because even though I was obese, I was caring for these patients, and they were so sick that I was traumatized from it. For people that do have weight loss surgery, just remember that they still have to change their eating habits. They still have to change their lifestyle in order to find success. Something to remember is that weight loss surgery is not a fix-all. There's nothing you can do to surgically remove emotional eating habits. Surgery is not, the same thing as therapy. Anyone who has success with weight loss after receiving weight loss surgery, they still had to put in a lot of work. They still had to do a lot of work on themselves emotionally and physically to find success. So their stories still are inspiring to me, and they still deserve credit for all the hard work that they put in. I've cared for many, many obese patients with a surgical history of gastric bypass. Another question that I get a lot is, how do you stay motivated? You have to remember that motivation is something that comes and goes. It came and went many times in my journey. Motivation doesn't last 2 years. Sometimes it only lasts 2 days, or sometimes it only lasts 2 hours. And around 3 o'clock in the morning, I will say, okay, no matter what happens the rest of the shift, no matter how crazy it gets, I'm going to the gym when I get off work. Or no matter what happens tonight, I'm not going to eat the candy that's in the break room. It's just like a deal I make with myself, and a commitment. That's what I do. I have to do on a daily basis, because the motivation is not always there. I'm not always motivated to eat healthy 24 hours a day. I'm not motivated to work out every time. Like on the Body Space app, when you start a workout, it asks you like your motivation level, and all the time I'll be clicking not in the mood, tired, not in the mood, tired. If you are satiated on healthy foods, you're less likely to give in to the bad foods. I don't want to say good and bad, like there's good and bad foods, but there's some foods that offer us nutrition and offer us nutrients and vitamins and minerals, and some that are empty calories, that are just sugar and fat, and we eat for enjoyment purposes only. You just can't make excuses. When you're making excuses for yourself. You just have to check that. I think it's really important to keep track of your progress in more than one way. Most people rely on the scale to track their progress and determine whether or not they're successful. And I feel like this is because of the diet industry and the women's magazines and how to lose 10 pounds in 10 days and those sort of ideals that are constantly shoved down our throats. It tells you how much you weigh, but it doesn't tell you what your body's made out of. So I think it's very critical, and I wish I had done it earlier on, is measuring body fat percentage. I know when I began my journey, my body fat percentage, I showed a picture of myself to a doctor who is an expert in this field, and he estimated my body fat percentage to be at 45%. And now I'm currently 22 to 23% body fat, which I'm happy with that. At the moment, I'm comfortable with that body fat percentage. But it's very important to track your body fat percentage, because it will give you some indication of how you're doing when the scale doesn't move. There's a lot of devices you can get on Amazon, and they have reviews, so you can just look it up and find one that has good reviews and a good price and will meet your needs. Measuring your inches. It is amazing that you can lose inches or gain inches and not actually have any difference on the scale. Or your clothing sizes, obviously, or how your clothing fits. I remember whenever I would buy jeans, they were always really tight on the waistband and loose on the legs. In order to get a waistband that was big enough, the pants were actually too big for my legs. And now I have the opposite problem, where they can be skin tight on my legs and I have extra room in the waistband. So clothing sizes are important, and the way that the clothes fit you. And then the last thing is, I think it's really important to take your progress pictures on a regular basis. How to measure your progress: your weight, your body fat percentage, your inches or your measurements, your clothing sizes, and photos. Those are the 5 ways that I think are helpful to measure your progress. Another thing you can do is see a doctor if you're having health problems, or you're afraid you might be having health problems. You can have your labs checked, and you can see those labs improve. I talked about how I sort of had borderline high cholesterol back in the day, and now I have very good cholesterol levels, like beyond phenomenal cholesterol levels. So, you know, that's another way that you know that you're getting healthier. I want to address scams on Instagram. People who do follow me on Instagram know that I am passionate about calling out scams and exposing scams, and you know, being aware, being made aware of scams that are happening. One of the biggest scams that I see are the skinny teas. And like if you really need a tea to help you poop, you can get one at the grocery store for $3 to $5. You don't need to send away $30, $80 to a skinny tea Instagram company to help you go to the bathroom, because that's really all the skinny tea is. They're laxative teas. They will help you if you really are constipated or really are backed up, but they do not help you get abs or anything like that. Those people are ripping you off. Just be very skeptical of everything that they're trying to sell you. Just know that the whole motivation behind the post is for them to get paid. There's a fake discount, and the fake discount is so that the companies know who sold the product so that they can reimburse them their percentage of the sale. This is just ridiculous. If you want to hire somebody online to help you with your goals, you're hiring them to do a job for you. If I go in for a job interview for nursing, I have to prove that I'm a nurse. I have to show them my qualifications. They have to verify me. They have to do a background check on me. You should know the qualifications of anybody that you're hiring online to help you with your fitness and your goals. Just because I lost 100 pounds does not make me qualified to create meal plans or fitness programs. People will say they're a nutritionist, or they're, what did that one guy say he was? He said he was a clinical nutrition specialist or something. Just look up what people's titles mean and look up what education or what qualifications go into that title, because some of these titles that I've seen are completely freaking made up. Because some people are selling custom workout plans, but really they copy and paste it and they send the same thing to everybody. They send the same meal plan to everybody and they tell you it's customized. They steal other people's progress pictures and they claim it as their client. And it's like, hey, that's my progress picture, you stole it. They just block the person, you know what I mean? Pay someone who's already lost weight or already found success to say, hey, tell them you used my program. Herbalife is constantly hounding me to sell their products. And it's like, I didn't use Herbalife to lose weight. I didn't use Herbalife. So why would I promote it? If I used it, then maybe I could understand, you know, promoting it, but I never used it. And so why is it that you're constantly hounding people who've already lost weight to sell your products? Why can't you find someone who is overweight, have them lose weight with your products, and then sell it? They don't care. They just want, they see someone who's lost 100 pounds or found some kind of success as an opportunity. They're opportunists. Let me just tell you, the skinny teas, the Herbalife, the wrap companies, there was a skinny coffee, and waist trainer companies are constantly messaging me, asking me to promote their products, and I absolutely refuse because I didn't use any of them, and I actually don't believe in any of them. Just because somebody promotes it doesn't mean they use it. I never use skinny tea. Why are they asking me to represent their company? Why are they asking me to promote their products? It just goes to show that their products don't actually work. It's all a marketing scam. There's my freaking rant about that. Please understand that the one-on-one coaching takes a lot of time. You have to get to know the person. You have to figure out what their goals are, what their eating habits are, what their weaknesses are, what their strengths are, and then help them through those things. I don't really have the time to do that, and that's one of the reasons why I made this video. Like people sometimes get really upset at me when I don't like come up with a meal plan and a whole workout routine for them on the fly like that. I really don't have the time, nor do I have the expertise to do that for you. If you have a simple and very specific question for me, I will do my best to answer it, and I will do my best to point you in the right direction. I want to motivate people. I want to help people, encourage people, and show people that it can be done, but I really am not here to make a quick buck. I really just want to be interactive with everybody, and I want us all to support each other, and that's my only interest in Instagram at this time, and my only interest right now. My mouth is so dry from talking so much. So I just want to say thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to watch the video. I'm sorry it was long. I'm sorry it was really rambly. The thing is, I don't want to make YouTube videos. Like, I'm not very good at it. I find it really difficult, and it's just not a skill of mine or something I want to invest a lot of time in. So I Google things every single day. So just be thirsty for knowledge and be skeptical of anyone selling you snake oil. That's it.